very surprised. I like went back to my like the place where I lived, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, you have like a package," and I was like, "A package? I literally just got here." And then they were like, "Yeah," and then it said like, "Oh, put it in the refrigerator," and I was like, "Why is my package literally on the floor when it says to be refrigerated, right?"
Oh, really?
Hi everyone! Welcome back to Ann Talks. Today we're going to be talking about long distance friendship, but it's not only going to be me that's talking today. I have a special guest for you, and she's been working with Ann Talks in the background, but she's going to have a new launch this month. And her name is Key!
Hi, it's so nice to meet you.
Oh my god, it's been so long!
This is my first time on camera, is it?
It really is.
Yeah, it's so nice to meet you guys.
Oh, I'm really happy that you're here.
I am too. How have you been?
I've been tired, but now my energy's been refreshed since I've seen Key.
That's so good to hear. Anyway, we're gonna be talking about friendship, long distance.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've been doing long distance for a while. It's on and off.
Yes, on and off.
On and off.
Yes.
But then like the most recent one has been 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, we haven't seen each other since
That long.
2022. That's why. And then we've seen each other on and off the past years because we've been like in different schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Different countries.
And that too. But yeah, so how did we meet? First we met through our school, our local school here. And then we've been friends since first grade.
First grade.
Right?
Oh my gosh, that long.
Yeah, first grade.
First grade.
I know. And it's so
us
odd.
now, it's like, what year are we?
What year are we? Wait, that's true. I think it's like,
I'm in third year now.
so then that's like, I don't know, 15 years?
15?
Yeah, 15 years.
That long.
Damn. Wait. I love how we didn't even know that. We were
No,
just like
really?
cruising through life. We were like, yeah, okay.
Really?
Okay, we're friends still. That's all that matters. No counting of years. But
Yes.
yeah, that's true. So we actually prepared some questions to answer for this long distance topic because I think
Yes.
that long distance is very common. But then with our new technology and all our generation, it's very
Yes.
like easy to talk to anyone. But let's address some issues for those who have some issues with their friends. But let's start up with maintaining connection across miles, and we have some tips for nurturing long distance friendships. So the first one we have is, what are some effective ways to stay connected with a friend who lives far away?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Answer that first.
Yeah, go ahead, answer that first.
Well, I would say it's not really long distance that could, keep the friendship away or stronger. It's more on the bond itself. It's more on the connection. You and your friend connect each other. So I would say the number one thing is purpose. So what's your purpose in friendship? And that could really vary from person to person. I'd say other people, they have friends because they just want to have fun, or they just think that they're comfortable being together, and they don't really think about long term or the future between the two of them, or more of them. It's like depending on how many they are. And for me, we can connect if both of us, or like if any of us have like the same goals and values.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say that is one. And once you know what your purpose is for the both of you, that's where you get comfortable with each other. So it doesn't have to be on contact with each other all the time. Like, it's more really the bond and knowing that, oh, we're friends because I know that you are actually helping me in life. So I would say that's what's most effective is purpose.
I agree. I think purpose is very important in terms of friendship, because if you guys are just friends based on useless topics that will eventually die out, there's literally no point, and the friendship will eventually die out in the end. Not only that, you also have to understand boundaries, because when it comes to long distance, whether friendship or relationship, it applies with the same principle. People are busy. You need to know their boundaries. If they're not responding to you, doesn't mean they hate you.
Yes,
Doesn't mean
that's
there's
so
something
true.
up with the friendship. No. It's just that they have things to do. I guess another one is boundaries,
Yes.
effective ways to stay connected. And another effective way to stay connected is through maybe small celebrations or big celebrations. Let's say that they got a promotion, they graduated university, big things. I think that's one of the most effective ways to stay connected with someone. And next up, we have our next question. How do you set up a regular schedule for catching up with a long distance friend?
Whew, this one, it really comes down between the both of you. So we're gonna have our own lives. It doesn't mean that we're gonna know everything all the time because, we're living long distance. And it's more than just about really communicating. So just through text, obviously, because she lives far away from this country.
That's
so
true.
yeah. I'm like, hey Masa, are you free tonight? Or when are you free? I think that's the best way to know when are you free and when you're busy.
Yeah, that's what we do actually.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes we just call each other randomly.
Yeah,
I think that seems to work, especially those of you guys who are adults. It's very hard to schedule something with a friend nowadays because they have so much priorities.
Yes.
But that's normal. But that's like a very secret tip. Just call them.
Just call them.
And if they don't answer, then they're busy. If they answer, then perfect. The world aligns. And then, which brings us to our next one. What role do social media and messaging apps play in maintaining your long distance friendships?
I mean, that's like the same with the previous question. It's like with social media, you get to know if they just post what they're doing in life, and like Instagram, they're in the gym. Like, oh hey, you're in the gym, I'm in the gym too. And yeah, that's like how you know that they're doing well, or maybe if they're not really into social media, you can still message them. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, social media and messaging apps is very important when it comes to long distance friendships. You have to find an app that both of you use constantly, because it can't be one-sided. It has to have like both efforts from both ways. So I guess for us, it's iMessage. Yeah, I think that's my bad because, iMessage is convenient for all my Apple people out there. I'm so sorry, Samsung. But I'm just saying, iMessage is so convenient. And also, you can just chat through any Apple device. Like, that is so convenient. Yes. So yeah, Apple, if you're watching this, we sponsor. But yeah, I guess like one of the most common social media apps that we use is iMessage, top one, and I guess our second one would be Instagram. Instagram. We're more active there as well. But then we would say iMessage is probably 95%, and then Instagram is like 5%. And that's basically it, what apps we use. It depends on you guys. There's also Messenger, which is a great app, very convenient as well.
Snapchat.
I think Snapchat's dead.
I think. I'm not sure.
No, it's not. It's not dead in the United States, I think. But yeah, for those of you watching in the United States, let us know in the comments if Snapchat is dead, because we think it's dead.
That's what you think.
Yeah. So it brings us to our third one. It's celebrating milestones and special occasions from afar. The first question we have is, how do you celebrate special occasions like birthdays or anniversaries with a long distance friend?
Well, I mean, before we were long distance, it used to be just, attending each other's birthday parties. Yeah. And when it came to long distance, of course, it only went to calls and messages, long messages like happy birthday. And I'd say that was really one of the only ways we celebrated it because we couldn't, I mean, if I had the money to do it, I would actually surprise visit Masa and celebrate her birthday, but I honestly can't. But yeah, I would say messages, calls is one of the ways for us to celebrate our birthdays.
I agree. We should always call and then always text them. Like, pour your heart out on those calls and messages. Don't hesitate. Just do it. Don't be like, oh, I haven't talked to her or him in a long time. Just do it. Don't be shy, come on.
Exactly.
And then our next question is, what are some creative ways to send gifts or surprises to a friend who lives far away?
I remember surprising you for your birthday.
Oh my god,
yes.
I
remember that. So yeah, so she just moved to Australia and, I was thinking she just moved there. It's almost her birthday. Why don't we surprise her? So yeah, me and our friends, we decided to like chat it up and, we knew someone who lived there.
No, you shouldn't.
So yeah, we knew someone, a friend of ours, and we just messaged him, tell us to buy a cake for Masa and surprise her, which he did, thankfully. And yeah, she was very surprised when she saw the cake. It's like, who's this cake from? And how did you feel?
I was very surprised. I like went back to my the place where I lived, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, you have like a package," and I was like, "A package? I literally just got here." And then they were like, "Yeah," and then it said like, "Oh, put it in the refrigerator," and I was like, why is my package literally on the floor when it says to be refrigerated, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was on the floor. And then I was like, okay, interesting. So then I opened it and I was like, oh my god, it's actual food. And I was just like, okay, I have to eat this ASAP. So I called like my friends there and I was like, you guys want to eat with me? Because I can't eat a whole cake by myself, guys. Like, oh my god, I'll be like diabetic by the end of the day. Cake to myself. Yeah, but yeah, thank you for that. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, they did send me a cake. So interesting in how I got it too. Send gifts, send surprises. You can ask at a local store in your area or your friend's area and then tell them to send it in that specific address. So yeah, I guess like an important thing is you should know where your friend lives.
Yeah, exactly.
You should know where your friend lives. If you don't know where they live.
Exactly.
Like, how do you send gifts, guys? So don't forget. One of the most important things to ask, where are they gonna live? And then how do you make your friend feel special during milestones despite the physical distance?
Right. So it's somewhat like celebrating that person as if it's their birthday every day. And yeah, I would say call them, message them, tell them, shower them with like compliments and tell them how you're grateful to be their friend. Basically telling them the words that they need to hear, and that's how you can make them feel special all the time. And I mean, even though despite the distance we can't be there, we just really have to keep messaging them. That's what I do. I mean, I love to message them, so keep communications open.
Exactly. You should always send messages and call them, as what we mentioned a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so our next one is number 4. How to handle misunderstandings and conflicts in long distance friendships. Our first question is, what are some common conflicts that arise in long distance friendships and how do you handle them?
So one of the issues I'd say is miscommunication. I mean, obviously we're both very busy with including the fact that we have different time zones. It's like we don't have like the same type of availability that we used to have here.
Yeah.
We tend to have miscommunication wherein messages can be misunderstood. Like, if you send a text, it could be like appear as too dry, which may not be the case for the person. And that is one which is like a problem it's not really a big problem to us because we don't really make it a problem. Yeah, I don't even see it as a problem if someone dry texts me, like especially if it's like my best friends, then it's not really a problem because we both understand each other.
I think another feeling that's really common when it comes to long distance friendships is differing expectations. And what I mean by differing expectations is that maybe one friend feels that, the expectation of having a long distance friendship is fun and that they'll always talk to each other and that it'll always be like how it was when they were in person. No, that's not the reality. You can still probably send your TikToks, your reels, whatever you send to your friend mostly, or memes. You can still do that, but it's not gonna be the same response time. It's not gonna be the same reactions, because then now that you're like far away from each other, it becomes natural. You'll start to get used to that feeling. So when you have differing expectations, you should communicate that. So of course, miscommunication. Gotta communicate that differing expectations. If you're like, oh, I really thought that you would respond in this way. No, people evolve. They're not always going to reply the same way that they once were when you were in person.
Exactly.
Depending on how long your long distance is, of course. And of course, the last one, I guess, would be jealousy or insecurity. As we mentioned a while ago, was that social media. It plays a big role when it comes to jealousy or insecurity. You see your best friend with new people and you're like, oh no, she has new friends. I don't. I still have the same local friends. Like, it's the same feeling. We don't have that issue, but it's a common feeling, I would assume, as what I've observed from other long distance friends. And usually when that type of feeling, jealousy or insecurity, takes a toll onto your friendship, it's not going to end well unless you really communicate.
Yes, exactly. Communication.
Communication is key. And then which brings us to our next one. How do you address misunderstandings when you can't have face-to-face conversations?
Okay, so of course, communicate. As we have said it like 100 times already, we have to keep communicating. It's like we have to be 100% honest with each other, no matter how brutal it is. As long as it's for the best for the both of you, then you have to tell them. So whatever it is that you're feeling, like maybe there's something that person that bothers you, you have to tell them, and that person will be willing to fix that, or both of you. I mean, I'm the type of person who's willing to accept like flaws or any criticisms because it's a way for me to understand what I'm doing wrong and to see how I can address these types of issues, because I always want to fix myself. So I would say if you can communicate those, then how are you supposed to be better? How are you supposed to do things correctly? So yes, you have to talk about it.
Yeah, with Key situation, she's always the one forgiving people. She's
Yes.
one of the kindest souls I've ever known. No, like
Really?
seriously. Like every time there's like an issue or something, she's like so understanding. It's crazy. I guess that's one of her best qualities. And whenever they like talk about things, it's always like perfect communication. They're like, oh, okay, I didn't know I did something wrong. I didn't know that he did something wrong. Like then we're like, okay, so how do we move forward? That's one of the next key questions you should ask when you have conflicts. What can we do to move forward? Are you willing to stay friends? Are you willing to look past this? It's all about the questions you ask afterwards. That's so important. And of course, you know, when we have issues or anything, it's very hard to express our feelings because we're not face to face anymore.
Yes.
So maybe some of you feel like you prefer expressing your issues with, you know, your voice instead of like texting, writing a whole essay. Like if you want to just express it through voice, you can try calling them or set up a call. Or if they really are busy, use a voice chat.
Yes,
Voice
that's
chat, right?
one
Yeah.
of the best ways to communicate. Like
Yeah.
voice chat, everything. If especially if it's too long.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person. If my best friend sends me like a long ass a voice
voice
chat,
memo, voice
Yeah,
memo, voice memo.
Yes. So whenever she sends me a voice memo, I just listen to it like as if it's a podcast, and I'm just like doing my laundry or like cleaning my room. That's a way for me to catch up to. It's convenient.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I agree. Voice memos are the way to go if you are the type of person who prefers to talk than type. Which brings us to our last question. So what communication strategies can help resolve disputes in a long distance friendship?
One thing would be active listening. I always have to look into whatever your friend is telling you, you have to listen to it. So it could, no matter how small or big it is, it means a lot. You have to make the effort, if especially because you want to make this friendship work and last long.
Yep.
Then you have to understand what they're going through. Listen to whatever problems they have to tell you. And that way you can see how both of you can move forward. It's all about moving forward. So talk to each other, be empathetic, set ground rules, and take breaks, or if you need to. And that's how you can focus on the issue and move forward.
Exactly. And don't forget, you have to express yourself calmly. You don't use you, use I.
Yeah.
So don't use blaming language. Don't be like, oh, it's because of you.
No, that's not good.
That's a bad mentality. You should say, oh, I feel this way. I think it's like this. I blah, 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 blah. So that you're taking accountability of your feelings, because it really is your feelings. So stop using the blaming mentality. Start saying I, so that your communication will go effortlessly and there'll be no issues. Unless the person that you're talking to is closed-minded. Now that is a different situation.
No, yeah.